welcome to the very first episode of Declans Weekly. I'm Eva O'Sullivan and I'm thrilled to bring you all the latest news and updates from St. Declan's. I'm joined today by my partner in crime, Hazel Walsh, as well as Mr. Briggs. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. Your support means the world to us. Today we have a very special guest joining us. He's not only a sixth-year student here at St. Declan's, but also a world, European and national champion in karate. Please welcome Charlie Laffan. Charlie, it's an honour to have you with us today. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So what inspired you to start practicing karate?
Well, when I was kind of a child, I loved watching kind of action, like TV shows and things like that, so that kind of got me into it. Stuff like Power Rangers and along those lines.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you first began training?
I think it was senior infant, so probably 5 or 6.
Really good. And can you tell us about your first karate class and what it was like?
I was really nervous going into the first one because I started in someone's garage just that lived down the road from me, and then he sent me into Pat Rocket, who I'm with now. So Pat kind of had his big club inside in the Crystal Leisure Centre, and when I first went into there, I was really nervous. But then David Gann, who was one of the first lads that I was friends with in there, was already a world champion at the time, so he kind of took me in under his wing and started teaching me the ropes and stuff. So, yeah.
Very good.
Did anyone in your family influence your decision to take up karate?
Not really now. My family's big into the GAA, so I kind of always played the GAA when I was younger until I finished primary school, and then I kind of focused on the karate and the kickboxing then.
Charlie, tell us, you mentioned, I suppose, your mother would be very, very famous footballer. Your sister was very into it as well.
Yeah.
Just the differences, even from a young child, the differences actually training with the team versus now all of a sudden you're very much kind of a solo. Well, I know, we know that sometimes you're involved in team games, but it's you on your own. What's the main differences in training in terms of being disciplined?
Well, you have to be very strict with yourself. So it's hard sometimes to motivate yourself when there's no one kind of with you, especially training the likes at home and through COVID and stuff. I had to really try to push myself to train by myself. But no, it's good, because it's good for discipline and all of that,
And
Yeah.
what does a typical training day look like for you?
So I train every week, all year round, maybe 3-4 times a week. So I go out and do my normal day work or school or whatever, and then training for an hour and a half every evening. And then coming up to big competitions like the Worlds and the Europeans, we train before the Europeans this year. Now we were training at 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning until 7 o'clock. So then I have to go home, shower, breakfast, and then straight to school. And then we were training that evening as well, every evening. So it's tough going to keep it going, but it's good.
Yeah. So how do you balance your schoolwork with your training schedule?
Normally it's handy enough now because it's only the hour and a half, 3 or 4 times a week. But coming up to the big competitions now, it's kind of hard to balance it out evenly because it's a lot of pressure, but you have to do it, You have to try work some way around it.
And are there any specific training techniques or exercise that you find particularly effective?
Well, we do a lot of cardio and plyometrics and things like that because karate is kind of all about flexibility, mobility, and just your endurance as well. So it's not really more so about strength, but your speed and everything like that. So it's a lot of kind of cardio and mobility work and things like that.
Yeah.
Charlie, over the last, we've a number of students, I suppose, that you were involved in karate. To the layperson like me, you mentioned obviously there's jiu-jitsu, judo, karate, I suppose mixed martial arts, even then you're into kind of cage fighting and stuff like that. But what are the main differences between all the disciplines?
Well, I suppose at the core of them, they're all kind of really about the same thing, like respect and all of that. But between karate and kickboxing, they're kind of similar enough now. It's mostly just the types of techniques to be thrown, like kickboxing is all hooks and uppercuts and like things like that. And then karate's more traditional, so it's all like straight hand punches and just
Cobra Kai.
around. Yeah, I've never
Well,
actually seen Cobra Kai, but
it's actually, yeah, well, it's become so popular. I mean, when I slightly bit older than you, but I mean, The Karate Kid was a big film in the 80s, and
yeah.
now I see like the amount of people like Cobra Kai is one of the most popular shows actually on Netflix,
Mm.
and it's amazing the popularity that even like you know again if you can see it, you can be it. I'm sure that's added a massive participation to karate and all the different disciplines as a result of it. People seeing it on TV.
Oh yeah, it has. It's after growing a load over the last few years now. It's huge. Like at the Europeans, I think there was 3,000 competitors. Like at the Europeans, that's huge. Normally, only the worlds that have that amount of people. Like, yeah.
And how do you stay motivated during tough training sessions?
I suppose because most of it we do train by ourselves for a lot of it, but we're in a squad anyway. So like we'd have the Irish squad with us, and I'd be friendly with a lot of lads, so they kind of we push each other, especially if you're training with people that are better than you. Like they kind of really they push it to be the best you can be. Like,
Yeah. And out of all of like the medals and titles you've won, which one means the most to you and why?
um, I think actually I won gold last year in Scotland, but I think my favorite medal that I have is actually the one I won in Florida, silver the year before in the World Championships. Just because it was the first World Championships out of COVID, and I was training so hard throughout of all of COVID that I really felt that it paid off. And I just had some very tough fights over there as well. So I think that was one of my favorite like moments of winning.
Yeah.
And can you share a memorable moment from one of your competitions?
Well, every big competition there's an opening ceremony. So you'll have all the different countries, all the flags and the referees and everything. We walk out in like a parade and we all gather, and then there's like concerts and everything going on, and there's traditional kind of music and dances from that country. So I think in Scotland they had like the bagpipes and everything around, and then a Scottish band from the city that it was in, which was Dundee, came out and they had a concert out in front of us all, and that was probably one of my favorite moments, I'd say.
Yeah.
And Charlie,
And
you mentioned there you came second. Would there be much video analysis go into rewatching the fight again, seeing where you went wrong, seeing what you can improve on? You know, do you very much look at all the fights that you're in? I suppose I'm kind of equating it to if we have a big GA match at the weekend and we lose, we might we might look at back where it all went wrong. How much of that time is up to you or to your coach?
Most of the time it is up to you. It's up to you to take the video, like whoever is watching you, like your mother and father, whoever, like so they'd be taking the video and you'd be going through it yourself to try pick out what you think you can improve on. And then if you can't really find anything, you would send it to the coach, like Pat or Dean or one of the coaches inside now with us, and they'd break it down for you and see what they think you can improve on, like just as like extra hand. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you to kind of do that yourself.
Yeah. And how do you prepare mentally and physically for a big competition?
Physically, it's just a lot of training, kind of flexibility work and everything. Mentally, it used to be a lot harder to compete. I used to get like nervous and everything, but over the years, you just kind of become like acclimatized to it. Like it's just like anything going out to World Championships now. I don't have any nerves at all for it.
Yeah. What would your goals be for your future in karate?
Well, stay on the Irish team. One day make it to the Olympics, hopefully now. And
Yeah.
yeah, just keep working up. Pick up a few more martial arts on the ways. Maybe go into the UFC or something along those lines. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And are there any upcoming competitions or events that you're particularly excited about?
um, the World Championships this year or next year are in Sweden now, so I'm excited for them. But at the moment, I'm training for the nationals at the end of this month now. So they are the 24th of November, I think. So I'm
Oh,
training for.
nice. And how do you see your karate career evolving over the next couple of years?
Again, we'll just have to see how it goes with colleges. I'm looking at scholarships and stuff now.
Oh,
So, um, I want to keep it up, see how far I can get. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you have any advice for younger students at St. Declan's who might be interested in taking up karate or any other sport?
Um, just if you're finding it hard at first, just keep it going. Like nothing is really ever easy at the start, but it becomes easier, and the more work you put in, the more you get out of it.
And that's all for today's episode of Declan's Weekly. A huge thank you to Charlie Laffan for joining us and sharing his incredible journey in karate. Charlie, we wish you all the best in future competitions. And also, thank you to everyone for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our conversation as much as we did. Remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content and updates from St. Declan's. Your support helps us keep bringing you the best of our school community. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and keep supporting each other. This is Hazel Walsh signing off. Have a great day, everyone.